Hello beautiful sassy ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and if you're a sassy high quality woman looking for a strong high quality man, then you come to the right place. So this channel is dedicated to helping women better themselves and really to help you be the best version of yourself so you can attract that high quality man you want for life. Today, I want to talk about emotionally unavailable men. I do have a fair bit of experience attracting, falling for, developing feelings for these kind of men. So men who just by the nature of these type of guys do not have the emotional bandwidth to commit. So for example, men who are married, who are taken, who are still in love with an ex, men who live far, far away, men who have, commitment issues, who have been burnt in the past, for example, or just tend to come from a very bitter history with women and relationships. Okay, so these kind of guys, emotionally unavailable men, are men who are unable or unwilling to truly commit and be loyal to you in a healthy, normal relationship. These kind of guys tend to have a hard time expressing their feelings, have a hard time communicating, either because they don't want to communicate, they don't want to express their feelings, or they just don't know how. They've never done it before, or they just don't have, a history of doing that from their upbringing, for example. So there's a lot of different reasons why these men are closed off, and that is the common trait with emotionally unavailable men. It's because they don't have the ability to commit at the level that you want him to commit. So today, I want to talk about 3 tips on how to deal with and handle emotionally unavailable men, and more importantly, what that really means for you and what that will probably look like for you in terms of increasing your self-awareness and what that would say about you. Now, it's really important that I address this from the perspective of not just you wanting answers from him, but what it can do to help you grow as a person, as a woman. The very first thing I want to mention is that if you are attracted to emotionally unavailable men and you have a history of attracting and being attracted to and falling for and chasing emotionally unavailable men, that means most likely you are also emotionally unavailable. Okay, that's what that really means. And it's important we dig a little bit deeper under that and what's really going on. Now, I will say, when I was chasing emotionally unavailable men, I didn't know I was emotionally unavailable. I kind of did, I kind of knew, but then I really kind of didn't as well. Because here's the funny thing about being emotionally unavailable, and especially if you have a habit and a pattern of doing this in your life and in your relationships, like a lot of things, we get used to it. If we become used to chasing after a man or chasing after a relationship that is unstable, that is uncertain, we just think that's normal, right? So a lot of people probably, you may not even know you're emotionally unavailable. You may just think you're terrible at relationships, maybe. You just think, there's something wrong with you. And it's really important that you recognize please don't use this as an opportunity to beat yourself up and to make yourself think, oh, it's something I was doing wrong. This is why I'm terrible at relationships, so and so and so on. It just means you're probably just used to being in those kind of relationships and dealing with these kind of men, because that's, you know, if you have been doing it for a while, that's what kind of you're used to. And by the way, you can have started off having normal relationships, having healthy relationships, and then later on, you know, started this habit. So this isn't something that necessarily would have been there from the beginning, from your childhood. It could have started over the last couple of years even, like it did for me. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from with this. The first tip is we have to be honest with what is going on. So being honest is probably the hardest step, because most of us are not self-aware enough to even know why we're doing what we're doing. So that would be the very first step, to recognize when you are attracting these kind of guys. And it's very simple, really. You look at the very beginning of that relationship, because emotionally unavailable men will tell you up front from the beginning, or it will become pretty obvious from the beginning, that they're not available for a relationship. Right? So what that means is, you know, from the beginning, he's married, he's taken, or he tells you he doesn't want a relationship. He tells you he doesn't trust women. He tells you he's had bad relationships in the past, for example. Or he tells you he lives in another country and things are very uncertain with him. You know, it will be clear from the beginning that this guy is not available for a relationship, because men who are available for a relationship will make that abundantly clear. Men who are available will go to extremes to tell you they're available. They will make it obvious, obvious that they're available, they're looking, they want a relationship, they're not seeing anybody else. Especially if they're into you, they will literally be like closing down their Tinder account, online dating account, you know, trying to sell you that they're a boyfriend material. And, you know, the flip side is a guy who's emotionally unavailable will do the opposite. They will not try to convince you. They will try to convince you otherwise. And if you are also emotionally unavailable, you will ignore every single one of those signs and you will fall for them anyway. And so the first tip is be 100% honest with yourself and say, okay, yeah, I knew this guy wasn't available. I chased him anyway. I fell for him anyway. I chose to fall for him. Okay, so we need to own up to that decision to go towards him. Now, I see a lot of women don't take responsibility in this regard, and they just say, well, he chased me, you know, he just kind of happened to me. I didn't do anything. That is never the case. We are always 100% in control of who we choose to spend time with, who we choose to get into relationships with, who we invest in. So at any point, you could have cut him off and said no to him and ignored him, and you chose not to. So let's just be honest that we have chosen to invest more and more time into this guy who we knew from the beginning couldn't give us that investment. And there were signs. Okay, just look back at them and, you know, write them all down what the signs are, just so you're clear that you already knew that, okay? Tip number 2, stop spending time trying to figure him out. I used to spend a lot of time, 50-60% of my day, obsessing over a man who clearly wasn't into me. And it's obvious when a guy isn't into you because he's not chasing you and not putting all this effort in, right? So I would just obsess over this man and try to figure out why he was unavailable, you know, justifying it. You know, I see some women make excuses for him and say, well, I get it because I used to be like that and I've changed, so maybe he'll change, you know, justifying it to stay in that situation. There are other things that we could do. Just making excuses, just trying to spend more time with him, saying like, no, I just wanna hook up for sex. You know, I want to use him for sex. He's using me for sex. I'll use him for sex. A fair few girlfriends have done that, and it's funny because you know they have feelings for him and they just try to justify spending time with the guy by saying, oh, I'm just using him for sex, even though they have feelings. So we have to watch out for this. Be very careful. Stop thinking about it. Stop over-analyzing him. Stop trying to make it okay to stay in that situation. And once again, this comes down to just be honest and say, yeah, I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm a little bit afraid of a committed relationship, and that's why I feel more comfortable chasing him. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, look, I just want a casual relationship. I want a friends with benefits situation, because there are a lot of benefits to those relationships. You know, you can come and go when you please. When you want to see him, you can hit him up. When you don't, you can disappear for weeks on end if you wanted to and come back when you want to. You know, there is none of that, I have to show up for this guy. I have to be emotionally available. I have to be vulnerable with this person, because he's not demanding any of that from you. So there is no risk there. And yeah, you can just come and go, you know? So be very honest about the benefits of that and why you choose to stay in that situation, and it's perfectly okay. Okay, just own up to it. Tip number 3. Now that you have owned up to it, hopefully, and we are honest about the situation, now we can make a decision. It's really difficult to decide to move forward in our relationships or any area of our life when we don't take ownership of the current results that we're getting. So now that you understand why you are getting the results you're getting, and you're not just blaming it all on him and it's all his issues, right? Now you can actually make a choice for yourself and hopefully maybe choose a more empowering choice for yourself. So you can stay in the casual relationship with this man, see him when you want to, but knowing that there is no consistency, so he can disappear when he wants to, he can come back when he wants to, and you do the same. And that's beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful things that come from that, like that kind of freedom, right? And you can see multiple guys if you want to, all great. You can either choose that, or you can choose something different. You can choose to be in one relationship, one committed relationship with one man, but that also means you are then required to show up for that man day after day, okay? Consistently going towards him, being there for him, and requiring him to be there for you consistently, day after day after day, right? So you just have to know what the deal is and choose wisely. Choose whichever one you want to do, right? Then the option is yours, free to choose once you understand that it is a choice, right? It's not just happening to you. You can decide either to have casual relationships, lots of them if you want to, come and go when you please, okay? You don't have to meet his parents. He doesn't have to meet your parents. It just is what it is. Probably will stay at a physical level. It's not going to get any deeper than that, but that's okay. You know, that's fine. Or you can choose to get into a more serious relationship, show up appropriately in this new relationship, and develop that. Now, the thing to remember is that if you choose to do the second option, okay, second option is available, we all have to still respect that first guy, right? We're not going to force the first guy number 1, to change to become guy number 2, right? We're not going to do that. And remember, there's plenty of men out there, so there is no need to try to change this one guy. You can simply say goodbye to him, wave him goodbye, okay, wish him the best of luck, and then you turn your back to him, and then there's plenty more. There'll be men lined up for you to have a serious relationship with, as long as you're getting yourself out there and you're trying to find them, meet them, you know, and are available for them, okay? Very simple. The option's there. You just have to be realistic about what's possible and what isn't, and let that guy go so you can find someone more suitable for you. And also, you're doing him a favor too, because then if he wants to stay emotionally unavailable, he can choose another woman who's also emotionally unavailable to continue that kind of relationship with. Okay, so everybody's happy, everybody's good, and there's no need to beat yourself up over any of this. Please do not do that. Don't use any of these things, any results that the guy's showing you or not showing you, as a reason to beat yourself up, as a reason to judge yourself, to tell yourself you're a failure at relationships and here's why, and this, please do not do that. It is completely unnecessary and just a terrible way to have a relationship with yourself. Okay, so you can just choose to have a good relationship and then just go for it. I know it sounds simple, but I really wanted to emphasize that it can be simple, right? It really can be simple. We are often the ones overcomplicating everything, okay? So if you would like a high quality man who is commitment ready, emotionally available to chase you, keep chasing you, chase you into a relationship, then you will probably want to check out my Be Chased quick action step guide. I'll link down the screen and in the description below, and you can download that for free on how to be chased by a high quality man and keep being chased. Okay, that's all from me. If you like this video, please like me, leave a comment below, subscribe to my YouTube channel right here, and you'll get more amazing videos like this one to support you on your romantic journey moving forward. Okay, that's all from me, ladies. I'll talk to you later. Bye.